All right, we're off. So yeah, it's super. It's kind of weird to. I've had this happen a few times where I've known people in the past, but never had in-depth conversation with them until
Yeah,
years later, right?
yeah,
Um, I reconnected with a homeboy from high school who, yeah, we knew each other in high school, but never really, talked that much. And, come to find out he's into similar work and, just similar stuff that I am. So, similarly, yeah, we went to the same undergrad university, and I don't think we had any in-depth conversation then, and and now come full circle. What was that? We're almost like 10 plus years later. Yeah, I came across your work, and I guess first let me say what you're doing is phenomenal, man. Like,
thank you, man. Thank you, thank you.
I think I think one people who are really trying to make change, I don't think they ever get thanked enough. You know what I mean? Like, it can be it can be a little isolating, right? You're just like, sometimes you feel like, I gotta do it. If I don't do it, then no one else will. So talk to me more about where the idea came from. I got 1,000 questions. I'm not even sure where to start. So yeah, just talk to me about where we need more thinkers came up. How'd you think about it?
Well, we need more thinkers is actually a Tupac quote. So
Yep.
the Tupac quote says, we don't need no more rappers. We don't need no more basketball players. We need more thinkers. We need more scientists. We need more managers. We need more mathematicians. We need more teachers. Basically, we need more people who care. So when I was how I got started was around the time Trayvon Martin and Eric Garner and Bay Area, everything was happening. Everybody was getting killed.
Mhm.
Like I felt it. Like I'm not sure if other people felt it like I felt it, but I felt like a deep pain. Like like it was kind of like happening to like one of my brothers or one of my close friends. And I was just thinking like, like what can I do to have immediate change? Like what can I do now that will have an immediate change? So the first thing that I thought of was like, maybe I could give books to somebody, to the youth, and maybe they'll be the next Baldwin, or maybe they'll be the next Malcolm X,
Oh.
or maybe they'll be the next Huey P. Newton, or Nikki Giovanni, or Angela Davis. So my thought was like, I want to get some books in the hands of the youth so they can just see the power in learning and being great. Because you may know somebody that's naturally smart. They don't read any books at all. They just got it.
Yep.
However, you'll never ever meet someone who's read a ton of books that's not smart.
Mm.
Like it's just impossible. Like anybody you think of, like you can think back to it when you was in elementary school, and that person, they called them a nerd, and they was always reading books. Like
Yep.
they're smart. Or you go to the person in high school, maybe they didn't party as much as everybody else. Maybe they was in the library, they was studying, or they was reading books. Like they're smart people. Even in college, like that person that was in the library, or that took that extra time, they was reading these fictional books at the same time doing their work. Like what I'm saying, that they stand out. And I can't say that I was one of those people, but what I'm saying, I definitely feel the more you read, smarter you get. So
Yeah,
that's where it started, man. So the first thing is that I used to see those free library boxes. I used to see the free library boxes, like, what are they called? Free libraries that you see in predominantly like white neighborhoods. There'll be a little box. You
yep.
open it, take one, grab one. But if you look at any of those boxes, like the books be like nothing that you want to grab. It'd be like, oh, I just opened this thing. you might get lucky, find like 1 out of 20 books in there is like something you might have heard of or something you want to read.
Sure.
So what I did was I asked my boy in Southeast, I was like, yo, can I put up one of these boxes in your yard and we're gonna put all black and brown books in there?
Yeah.
And he was like, for sure, like, let's do it. Yeah. So we actually had like a little food shelter next to it, but that didn't work out too well. But the book, the book thing was definitely dope. So like it's still up. It's going on its 4th year in like February, and then from there, this just sprawled out to a whole bunch of different things, man. But that's initially how it started.
Sure. Yeah, man. And you're in what? How many cities are you in now?
So the knowledge box started with DC,
Yeah.
and then I moved back to DC, and then I wanted a group, a community that I could do different things with. Like, you know, DC's known for like brunching and partying, and you know, it's a very socialite city.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to get caught up in the socialite city, so I started a book club. So the book club selfishly really was for me to build a community of people who like to do different stuff. Like maybe we could go to the African American Museum. Maybe we could go to the Portrait Gallery. Maybe we could take field trips to Harlem and see the Apollo. Maybe we can see where Marcus Garvey started his organization. Maybe we can go by, you know, Hotel Teresa. Maybe we go by Langston Hughes' house. And so I was just thinking, like, I wanted a group of people who was down for those type of things. So I started the book club in DC. It's called the Literary District. And then I would post our like conversations or the books that we were reading. And then, you know, somebody would be like, yo, we need that down here. So the 757 was like, we need that down here. So I posted on Instagram like, yo, anybody in the 757 would be down with a book club. And like my friends from Denver hit me like, yo, we need a book club in Denver. And I grew up in Denver, so it's nothing for me to go back home like every other month and you know, have these conversations. But between the knowledge boxes that we have out here, is what we call them, and the book clubs, it really just started with just unity. You know what I'm saying? Just unity. Like I just wanted really dope people together, like the smartest people. We come together, we have a group think session, because books are just a facilitator. Books are just a facilitator for life. So you pick any book you could think of, it's a facilitator for life. So Between the World and Me, which is a real popular book, is set out here in DC. He went to Howard. He wrote the book to his Black son about the deaths of the people that, you know, what inspired him to write the book was the same thing that inspired me to you know, make a change.
Sure.
His was writing a book to his son, which was a phenomenal book, probably the best book I read that year. Then, of course, they had the movie. But that movement spurs so much, just like this movement spurs so many as well. So we'll see in the next 3 to 4 years what that matriculates and what that looks like. So it's going to be powerful. So we started Denver. We got a Denver book club. We got LA. I'm trying to work on the Bay. I'm glad to see you out here. So hopefully people will see this. And rock with that. We put up a knowledge box at Little Bobby Hutton Park only like 2 weeks ago. So go check that out. And then we put one up in LA at Leimert Park. We put one there. And then we got one in West Baltimore, and we got one in Virginia Beach. So we got, the next up is Denver. I'm gonna try to build that next week.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do another one in DC because I got an extra box out here. So with all of those going together, and I know this is a little long story.
No, man, go ahead. That's why we're doing it.
So I know this is a long story. So when we was getting the books and you know, it was cool. I would just go to the thrift stores, find little $2-3 books or the free library, and you can find some amazing books there and just get them for the low, and then we would refill the boxes.
Sure.
But we had this thing here called Friendsmas, and it was basically like a party we threw because, you know, I could party with the best of them.
Sure.
but we wanted to party with a purpose, basically.
Yeah.
So instead of like the first year we threw Friendsmas, people brought bottles, and we had a great time. We turned up in the house 200-300 people. It was wild. But the following year, we was just thinking like, yo, what if everybody brought like a children's book or
Mm.
or black or brown book?
Yeah.
So we was like, hey, we throwing a party. It's free, but we need you to bring a black or brown book or a children's book.
Mm.
We had so many books, like literally like 1,000 books. So like I think we only had the DC knowledge box at the time. So like we sitting in the house with hundreds of books.
Yeah.
And it's like what are we gonna do with these books? So we so people would be like, yo, what you gonna do with the books? So I was like, I'm gonna give them away. So we started giving the books to we had friends from the city reach out to us. We started giving books to kids with incarcerated parents. We
Mm-hmm.
started giving the books to foster children.
Mm-hmm.
We started sending books overseas. So any way that we could get rid of these books,
Yeah.
we was getting rid of them. So basically, it was like, yo, you're doing the work of a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Start like a nonprofit, so like you can get like discounts and tax write-offs for people who are donating. And I was like, well, naturally, if that's what we're supposed to do, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Sure.
So everything just happened organically. It was the boxes. It was getting all the books, and then it was like, all right, what's the next step? And now we knew more thinkers, and it's not just me doing the work. I could never take credit for that. Like I got a strong team with me, and that's one of the things I credit to books is that they break down, like, to be candid, they take off the fuck shit out of
Oh
people.
yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Like books is like you meet a person that read books, man. They ain't really about stunting on like they ain't got the money for them.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They not about that. They'll probably focus on some other things, and it's a beautiful thing to see. So now you got all these smart people, and they want to help you because y'all have the same passions. And of course, with the climate that we're in right now, it's like, sheesh.
Yeah.
Whatever I can do to help, man. People are on board.
There's a laundry list of things that touch me when you talk. The first and foremost, you talk about this kind of idea of vicarious trauma when you talk about Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant deaths. You feel those things, and I had similar. It's very similar. Obviously, our experiences are different, but the concept of feeling that pain. I walked some folks through a story. One of my experiences of going on a job interview um, I think it was a few days after Oscar Grant was killed, and getting on the train, getting on BART, which is the train that he was, the train he was pulled off of, and then the station, obviously he was murdered there. But having a really strange experience when I got on the train and kind of reflecting on, man, this guy was just on one of these trains, right? And walking into a job interview, kind of off my rocker, right? Like just, I got thrown off. And, yeah, so I 100% understand what you're talking about when you say like feeling something, right? You don't need to watch something traumatic to feel it, right? You can be thousands of miles away, or watch it. We see traumatic shit on our phone all the time, right?
Yeah.
And that affects us like heavily. But it's important. Yeah, man, I like that you took this mindset of something that you're like, I have to do something about it, right? And that's a hard one to come to because there's never enough, right? There are never enough people that are doing that type of work or who come to that realization like, okay, shit, I got to do something about this. And then specifically transfer that pain you were feeling and channeling it into a learning opportunity. Like literally, this is a nothing, but this is part of this is a learning opportunity that's addressing, generational, not only generational inequities in education, right? But like, dude, you're like you said, you're bringing people together. I love that you're talking about the book situation, right? Like, yeah, when people come together in books, the egos get out of the way for the most part,
Yeah.
right? Because you're really like, I think everyone's in tune with their curiosity, right?
Yeah.
That's how I approach reading. I'm curious. I'm like, there's something in this book that I don't know, and I, I think the simple act of reading to me is so, or like the fact that you're encouraging kids to read, not only kids but adults to read, and it's specifically communities that we come from, where you know, I think as a whole, reading. I don't think we're set up for success. Oftentimes in school, we're told to read, but not why, or
Right.
read this book. Well, I'm not interested in this book.
Mm-hmm.
That's too bad. You got to read it anyway,
Yeah.
right? And then is it reinforced at home? Not all the time, right? And that's that's not to like point fingers at like our parents and our family or anything like that, but it was just a different, I think, a different time, right? And then there are some people who are fortunate who had those support systems, and I'm glad you mentioned your team, right, who's supporting you in these efforts. So yeah, man, you hit a lot of great points. So what was what kind of student were you when you were a kid? Were you the reader, or were you like, yeah, man, I'm just here?
So the crazy thing is that now when I look back on it, I wasn't that person who was like I tell you in high school, like we get the book, like I think they gave us like Color Purple and The Great Gatsby and all of that.
Yeah.
And like I only read what I needed to read for the test.
Yep.
That's it. Like oh, I got this for the test. Somebody give me the answers. Like I'm not gonna read the book. Just give me the answers, and whatever.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I did do when I was a kid is that my mom always took me to the library. Like she wouldn't force me to read, but she'd be in the library. So I'd be stuck in the library for like 3 hours. It's like you have no other choice but to.
Yeah.
Like, so the first thing I would do, I'd probably go to the magazines.
Yep.
So remember back in the day, they had the little kids sports magazine.
Sure, of course.
That'd be the first thing. And then it'd be like, all right, let me look at the sports magazine. Then let me look at my baseball cards. And then it's like, I'm still here. I did all of that. All right, let me go look for some books.
Sure.
And then you'll find like Spud Webb's Flying High, or you'll find like the Michael Jordan books. And then you'll be like, all right, cool. But then as I look back on it, when I was bored, like somebody gave me the autobiography of Malcolm X at like 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the autobiography of Malcolm X at that age. And like, even at that age, I was like, yo, this is my book. This is my man's right now. Like this is that dude from like, even at that young age, I could see like where he had came from to where he was. And I've read the book a few more times after that.
Sure.
And it's like that book had such a profound impact on me at a young age. I remember telling my mom this. I was like, yo, I'm not going to school on May 19th. And she's like, what's May 19th? I'm like, that's Malcolm X's birthday. And if we don't go to school for Martin Luther King's birthday, I'm definitely not going for Malcolm X's birthday. So May 19th came around. She came to get me for school, and I was like, yo, I'm not going. I'm not going to school. And it was like that because it had such a profound impact on me of where he was and who he became.
Sure.
So I embraced the book. So then after reading that book, I remember my mom always had the Terry McMillan books in the house.
Yeah. Yep.
So I was reading like Mama, Disappearing Acts. I don't think I even read like Waiting to Exhale, but I was reading those books because I was bored. Like, after you play video games and after you watch TV
Yeah.
And after you've been outside all day, it's like, all right, this book is here. Let me pick it up and read it. So I was just punishing those books, but and like that was my thing. That
Yeah.
was my thing. But I would never call myself a reader. I wouldn't be like, oh, like I read books, like, because I wasn't reading the books that people were reading in school. I never read any Harry Potters. I never read any of those popular books. I ain't read none of those. Like, I read because I was bored at the crib, and that was it. So I wasn't a reader. I wasn't even a super duper student like in high school.
So,
But I stepped it up in college. But
yeah.
in high school I was just chilling.
Um, so going to school in Denver, which Denver holds a special place in my heart. I've had a real like a great time in Denver, and had a chance to, yeah, awkwardly enough, I've had one of the best buffalo burgers I've ever had in my life. I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but that's where my head just went. I was like, damn, dude, I remember having it. I was like, damn, this is the best shit ever. But what was that like in Denver? I'm not too familiar with what the demographics are, but I would assume in Colorado, even though Denver's a large city, that it's not a heavily not heavily black.
Right.
Right.
So the crazy thing is that, and I'll give you a full circle thing here. So I remember it was like I was like 11 years old. I lived in Alexandria with my mom, single mom. We stayed in like off the highway. Everybody knows the highway. So she's like, we're moving to Colorado. And the first thing I said is that there's no black people in Colorado. Like, this is the same thing that everybody says to me. It's like, yo, you're the first black person I ever met from Colorado. And it's like, and that's what I said. So my mom is like, she had visited because her job was, gave her opportunity there. So she was like, she's like, the white people are so nice. They're not like the people here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 11, so I'm crying. I don't want to move. My friends are here. Da 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 da. So she's like, well, I don't really have a choice. That's my mom. So we moved to Denver, and then I remember, like my first friend I met trick or treating, and we're still friends today. Like, that's my man. It's him and his brother, and then my other boy, we all live in the same apartment complex, and we met trick-or-treating. Like, and we was all alone. And the crazy thing is, they was being raised by single dads.
No shit.
Yeah, so all my friends, so like in Virginia, all my friends were being raised by single moms.
Yeah.
Then I moved to Denver, and my best friends are being raised by single dads, like in the house.
Yeah. Totally foreign, right? Like, what?
Yeah, like, you live with your dad? He's like, yeah, it's 3 of us. And then I'm like, yo, you live with your dad? He's like, yeah, like, you want to roll? And like, the crazy thing is that I would kick it with their dads.
Yeah.
So you take that back. So now I'm in middle school, and I lived in Aurora. So I lived in Denver, but like literally across the street was Aurora.
Yep.
So I went to Prairie Middle School, which is across the street from Overland High School.
Okay.
So my high school is like 30% black.
Interesting.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Like 30% black.
And
then it's got to be about 10% or 15% Mexican.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Or Native American.
Native American. Yeah, for sure.
Then it's got to be like 5 to 10% Asian.
Yeah. Yep.
And then peep this. When I was going to school, so you know how colorism is. So
Yeah.
In Alexandria, I was a light-skinned dude.
Yeah.
Like I was a light-skinned dude. Everybody's like, oh, that's a light-skinned dude. See, in Denver, I wasn't a light-skinned dude.
No.
Like, it was like, I was light-skinned dude. I moved to Denver. Everybody's mixed.
Right. Everybody's mixed up. Yep.
All my friends are mixed. So like, you go to their house, like the dad's black, the mom's white, or you go to somebody else's house, the dad's white, the mom's Mexican, Asian and black, like, and it was so normal. It was so normal. It was like, dog, I'm not even close to being light skinned. Like, I'm with all the curly hair,
Yeah,
mixed
yeah,
food.
yeah,
Like, so, so like my school with the mixed kids, we like 30% black. Like we deep in the school. And
yeah.
then it's just so many. And then of course we had a lot of white people. But
Sure.
like I said, the white people was cool.
Way different culture.
Way different. It
Way,
wasn't that Southern Virginia, Northern Virginia. We
yeah.
gonna treat you different. It was just, and then what made it real cool was that growing up the entire time I was there, the mayor was black.
Damn, no shit.
Mayor Wellington Webb, black dude. So the crazy thing is, the mayor currently is a black dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Like Denver is probably less black than it was then, and it's 10% black, but the mayor is black.
yeah. For
So
people who have not been, for people who have not been to Denver, I highly encourage them to visit.
I
Like,
go to Denver. I'm going to Denver tomorrow, and then I'll be back the following weekend. I got the book club out there, so we
Denver.
building out there. Like that's my like like. But one thing about Denver is that all the black people knew each other.
Oh, sure.
So like in high school, like we all went to the same club. Everybody from every high school,
Yep.
like Hinckley, Gateway, George, all
Yeah.
of them.
So,
You know, Overland. We all knew each other. So like we would all see each other downtown, East. So yeah, we was it was love. It was
yeah.
love. It was
So
love.
what was so you finished high school and you finished high school in Denver, and then yeah, you said you weren't so what was that? I'm trying to think about like this you explained kind of this inception of you reading, right? Like you grew up in the library, you were in not necessarily forced to read, which is something that's really important. Like I really like that your mom was like, look, you don't have to do anything, but you're going to be in the environment,
Yeah.
right? Like you go explore on your own,
Yeah.
right? And I think, as we talk about reading and curiosity and exploration, oftentimes within communities of color, we come there can be families who are just so out of a place of love, but so focused on what you're supposed to do. Right? Like you just need to do this thing. You just need to do this thing. Like you just need to read. Don't ask why. Just do it.
Yeah.
And the more I think about we need thinkers, that doesn't make you critically think. That just kind of makes you fall in line with like orders. Like, oh, okay, I'll do this, and if I do this, then there'll be some type of result. And I don't know if that really develops. I don't know if that develops like a full person. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you don't just want to read like this book club. If you just wanted to read the book, you could read the book and throw the shit to the side. But you're like, nah, man, we're gonna sit and we're gonna talk about the book and critically analyze the book and pick things out that we noticed and listen to what other people noticed, and maybe you didn't pick that shit up. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's dope. So like, what was I'm really fascinated because similarly, like I was a terrible student. Not that I didn't know what I was doing, or I felt like I couldn't do any of the work. Just growing up in a predominantly white school and having kind of struggling with identity in terms of like my mom's Mexican, my dad is black, um you know black enough, Mexican enough, but where do I fit in? Okay, going to school with a bunch of white kids, okay, what is that? Like I struggled with that, and I got along with a ton of people, and that's kind of what kept me grounded. Just like I don't give a shit. Like I really don't give a shit who's who. Even in my circles, in my family circles, it's like, yo, sometimes I'm not people are like, oh, well, what are you? Say like, what side are you on? I'm like, I'm not on a side. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's not what I'm about. But yeah, I hear very similar stories leaving a place, and then both of us go to Virginia. I mean, you went back to Virginia, right? But we go to a historically black college, right, where that's a complete game changer. And I don't want to speak for you, but I can't speak enough when I meet people about how impactful that experience was. Like it without a doubt, change. I can't imagine my life without it.
Yeah.
Like I really, I can't. I,
Like, it really, it, like, so we can only speak from a Norfolk State experience, but
exactly.
most HBCUers can tell you, Norfolk State is like a family.
You know.
Norfolk State is a family. So like, even if I remember recalling this very, very early on when I was a freshman at Norfolk State. And I didn't know anybody. I came from Colorado. The dude that was supposed to be my roommate, he financial aid didn't work out, so
Yeah.
he dipped. So basically, I didn't know anybody on campus. So I was basically on the low by myself, right?
Yeah. Same.
So, and like you kick it with your floor people because you see them all the time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So you can. So one day I was visiting my family in Maryland, and I remember we had stopped at like a Shoppers Food Warehouse or something. And
Yeah.
I seen somebody from school
Oh,
that like you never talked to him before, but the thing was is that person goes to my school, so you speak like immediately.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's like oh hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like oh yeah, we're Spartans, so we're family. And
Yep.
it doesn't matter that I've never spoken to you on campus.
Sure.
It doesn't matter because now that I see you outside of that space, like we have this camaraderie.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And then after that first year, once you get comfortable in school, this is when you start getting all your real friends that stick to you.
Sure.
So like I speak to my friends who went to PWIs, and they'll go to Virginia Tech or they go to UVA, where it's like 2 or 3% Black people.
Yeah. Yeah.
40,000 people. That 3% still does not top the amount of Black people that we had at Norfolk State at the time that I went there. So my circle of Blackness is my circle of Black friends is in a high capacity.
Yeah.
And the thing about, and then when you look at it now, you can be like, oh, my friend is doing this. They work for such and such in the government, or
Yeah.
my friend over here is a doctor, such and such and such, or they have this business, or they do that. And it's crazy how close we all are.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could get on the phone basically to speak to anybody from Norfolk State by calling one person. Like, yo, you used to kick it with such and such. Yo, can I have his number? And it's just like that.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's so, man, I never really thought about it, but it's so true. If you really needed to, you can find someone.
And that same thing applies to other HBCUs.
Sure, totally.
All you need is just one person.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you went to so you went to Clark Atlanta. Okay, I know somebody that went to Clark Atlanta.
Oh,
then it's just like that. And so Norfolk State was like a really family school. Like it was a lot of love there. Like it was a lot of love there. A lot of like people were close. Like even if they weren't close, like it was a very camaraderie school. And I grew up kind of on the basis of Norfolk State. My parents went to Norfolk State.
No shit.
Yeah, my parents went to Norfolk State.
My dad graduated from Norfolk State.
See, like that's the way it goes. Like my dad was the super cool junior. My mom was the freshman just getting on campus, and it got her. And then that's me. I'm a Spartan baby.
Hilarious. And I know more people. I mean, there's quite a few people like that. Like that's not so like far gone. It's not uncommon. It would.
Right.
Yeah. Damn. That's. So what do you think? So you bring up something that's really important, and what some people might not recognize about the HBCU experience, right? When you talk about friends being in so many different areas of so many professions or fields of study, what people fail to realize in general is the diversity within Black culture or within Black people, right? That's what we're trying to get away from, right? Like it's the thing we don't have to worry about when we get to a historically Black college, right?
Right.
We're like, oh, cool, everybody's Black. Now we can move on. we,
Definitely.
we can.
All my teachers are black. Like,
Okay, great. We can talk about everything else
yeah,
about who you are as a person.
yeah.
But yeah, I do appreciate that diversity within. That's one of the things that really made me enjoy the experience was just really not only like observing, not just observing uh, black young black students just walking like on a campus
Everywhere,
everywhere, like
everywhere.
everywhere, like, oh shit, this is crazy. I'm loving this. But also to see how many different type of personality, like just so many personalities, right? One wasn't the same. Like, I was like, yeah, this girl is this way, that guy's this way. The way they interact, like, this is what we don't get. A lot of us, specifically, what we're not exposed to in Colorado, San Francisco. You know what I mean? We weren't accustomed to that.
There's
And
people everywhere.
right,
From like Washington, you got people from Washington. You got people from, the islands. You got people from
yeah.
everywhere. People from overseas. It's so it's crazy. And then the best part about it is that they put you onto a different type of black.
Oh, sure,
So,
absolutely.
so it's like, oh, so that's what y'all eat over there. And,
Yeah,
and then they're like, yo, let me, or you could go home with your parents with them, and their parents is from Liberia, and you get some amazing cooking.
yeah.
So it was like so diverse, and it put you onto so much. You had the New York crew, you had a DC crew,
Yeah,
you had a Richmond crew,
yeah.
like and it was just like, ah, ah,
Like real learning, like a different type of learning, right? That you can't get in a classroom, right? Just that, whether it's time being spent, like, just walking with friends or posted up somewhere, it's just in listening to people's experiences, right? Like,
yeah,
I know that's what was transformational for me. I kind of came in and I recognized this, that I had my own experience, and and I think specifically when I can always go back to this moment. It was my freshman year, the living in the towers, and walking in. I walked into a room, and it was bunch of dudes having a conversation, and the conversation was really around like. Uh, I guess it was more so, I guess, like the historical significance of, like, not even historical significance. I think I came in and there like a couple people were like complaining about like, oh man, we can't get shit because white people are doing this. Now me, I'm coming in with I could assume with more exposure to white people
mm-hmm.
and more exposure to white people who I'm cool with, right? So I've had my own experience, and not all of it is good, but I definitely have seen a different side.
Yeah,
And back then I was like, well, I kind of interjected similar situation as you. Like, I'm trying to find my circle because I don't know anybody here. I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to like see who I roll with.
right.
And I remember talking and saying, well, if you continue to blame white people for where you're at, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah,
And it got, like we're still friends to this day.
yeah.
But the dude was like, yo, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? and then like, and then was like, are you even black? And I was like,
Yeah,
wait, what? And it was about to go down. Like, I'm like, yo, like, but it was that moment of contention, right? That a lot, like, essentially it was like that heat check. Like, who the fuck are you?
yeah.
And what are you about?
Right.
But interestingly enough, we circled back years after we graduated, and we talked about that moment. He was like, you remember that? I was like, of course I fucking remember it. Like, that's how we first fucking met, man. Like,
Yeah,
and it's those moments where, looking back on it, yes, I might have had a point. So did he, right?
right.
He had a different experience growing up in Virginia. He had a way different experience. And
Yeah,
so, again, as I reflect back on it, who the hell am I to come in and just say like, nah, you keep thinking this way? but it was a great moment, right? You're fucking freshman in college, right? Like how much
Hey,
I can reflect back on it, but at the moment, whatever. Um, but yeah, did you have any moments? Not maybe like, did you have any moments that like that you can recall? And maybe this led to you start, like maybe those aha moments because you talked about not being like the greatest student,
yeah.
coming to high school. Was there an aha moment when you got to Norfolk State and you're like, you know what? Let me kind of let me do some different things here.
Yeah, yeah. So when I first got to school, like I told you, Denver is real small, so all the black people know each other.
Sure.
So I was a little popular in Denver.
Yeah.
So when I got to college, I kind of wanted to like shed that popularity thing.
Okay.
So like I didn't want to be popular at all. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to be I didn't want to be popular. I wanted to get good grades.
Yep.
All that stuff. Like yo, I'm in college now. This is what my mom told me I was gonna be doing all my life. Like
Yeah.
I need to focus. And the
Totally.
crazy thing is, I started off well. Like my first semester, I did really well, and then my second semester, I met an upperclassman girl,
Okay.
and my nose was wide open. like
Oh,
like my nose was wide open. So I was like she was pledging, so I was like meet her after her pledge set or whatever. So we
yeah.
out like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I get back to my room. I'm missing class, and my grades drop. Like my grades drop. That second semester.
Yep.
So then, like I wanted to be a Kappa, so like I had to get my grades up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Straight
was
up.
like, so I had to like shift my focus back. But
Yeah.
the great thing about it was like the young lady, she was upperclassman, so she was like 2 years older than me. So that was my freshman year. She was junior. Now, a sophomore, she's a senior.
Mm-hmm.
She's working. She's got cars. She stays off campus. She's super smart. She's on a scholarship. So like, she's helping me. She's like, yo, you get your grades. Like, yo, I go buy you the Jordans. And I'm like, well, that's extra motivation. So like, it's like I want to be a Kappa. I gotta get my grades up. I gotta get this certain GPA to be a Kappa.
Yeah.
Boom. Now she's like, yo, this when the Jordans they start re-releasing like Space Jams and
Yeah. Yeah.
all them joints. So yo, I started getting grades. Like I started getting my grades. So I got my GPA back up. She was super popular.
Yep.
So now I'm getting into all the parties for free. And like she introduced me to all the Kappas. So like I'm good on that end.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So my grades is up. So that was my motivation. So it was just like kind of an investment, basically. Like my grades dropped, but she like put me on after that. You know what I'm saying? And my mind frame had changed. Like I went back to Denver, and I was just like, and I was working and kicking it with my old friends, and I was just like, yo, like I can't drop the ball. You know what I'm saying? I can't drop the ball. So when I came back, I was focused, man. And then of course I had the help of her, which was great. So like and then of course I got my grades up, and contrary to being popular, I was like being a Kappa was like being super popular. So it was just like what you may have wanted was cool, but this is reality now. So
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was like, yeah, man. As much as you try not to be, damn, it's pretty much inevitable, right? Like, yeah, join, being part of a Greek organization on a black college campus.
yeah, I tell people it's like the equivalent of like being a star athlete at a PWI.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
yeah, it is.
it's different.
It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. I think it's, it can be extremely fun. And we also know, I think from our own experience that like, there's some people who lean into it and never develop themselves outside of
Yeah.
of that organization.
Some never make it out of school either.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, right. Legit.
Yeah.
Never make it out.
They take the partying a little too far.
Yeah, that's good. That's hilarious. That, man, there's so many similarities. I think it's hilarious. One that you talked about before, Norfolk State being a family, and many HBCUs, not all HBCUs, having a family structure, right? That's the model.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt the exact same way, which is why I felt super comfortable in asking you to be on the podcast. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just ask him to be on the podcast. Like,
And
it's
it's
not a
not,
big deal.
it's nothing.
It's not a big deal. Like, I want to promote the work that you're doing. We went to the same school, the similar situation when you saw the folks in the store, and like, oh yeah.
Yeah, nothing. Let's go.
And it's also interesting to hear you talk about, your relationship with the girl. Like my aha, like one of the driving factors for me, like kind of kicking in the gear, um, was watching still a close friend of mine, and you may know her, Alexis Agri. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I, we're both broadcasting majors.
Lex is the homie. Like she stay around the corner.
I remember, both of us were kind of like, I think we were both kind of like cool with each other because we were like maybe we noticed we were a little different. Like Alexis, when I met Alexis, I was like, yeah, you're different. You're a different person. You're a different kind of person. And I remember watching her work ethic and going to the studio. And when she left the studio, I was like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I'm going to go to class and then I'm going to go back to the studio. And I was just observing it. And I was like, yo, that's what I want to do, right? Like that's exactly what I need to be on. And I just I followed in line, like, okay, yeah. So if I go to the studio, similar to what you were talking about, if you're in the environment, the chances of you doing the thing, learning the skill are gonna like it's almost inevitable.
yeah.
Right? You're not just gonna go there, sit and chill. Like once I got in there wasn't, I was welcome. Obviously, again, this goes back to my professors being Black. It's like they're welcoming you into the space, right?
Yep.
Like, oh, you came in, so what do you want to do?
Right.
Like, like we're not just chilling in here. Like it's not just like sit on the couch time. All right, well, you made it. So where do we go from here? How can I help you? And so yeah, I mean, those are the unique relationships, right? We talked about your team before, and in all of um, in all of my professional experiences, and specifically now, the importance of those solid relationships and being able to rely on people to support you, not only in work but like emotionally, support you in your failures, your successes.
Yeah.
You need those. You got to have those people, and that can be difficult sometimes. I think you know we're getting out of it. I'm really hopeful that we're getting out of this individualistic way of
Yeah.
living. And I see so many examples of it, and I try to promote the idea. I try to live that, you know what I mean? Like in any way possible that I can collaborate with someone, I want to do it. And it's funny that you mentioned kind of going back to, you reflected back on your early childhood experience. When I was a kid in school, I was always trying to work with people. Like when people are like, "Oh, you do your own work," I'm like, "Well, why don't we just work together and do it?" And it wasn't like I was trying to cheat or like I didn't want to do any work.
Yeah.
I just felt more comfortable like
In
in
the
a
group.
group.
Yeah.
I was like, I hated doing shit by myself. I'm like, yo, man, like, why the fuck am I in this room like, I'm in a room full of people, but I'm just supposed to sit here by myself? Like, it didn't make sense to me. It really didn't make sense to me. And yeah, man, it's so interesting to see that being expressed as an adult. Like I hardly ever do things by myself. You know what I mean? Like I'm always looking. I mean, I'm an extrovert. Like I love people. I
Yeah.
love people. Folks who I don't know. I'm like, who are you? I want to know about you. Like, I don't care what's your story. I really don't give a shit, but I just want to know. You know, I have an appreciation for people and their stories, which is probably why I got into social work, right? Because I'm just like, oh yeah, like how can I support? How
Yeah.
can I help you? How can I help? How can I help? Um, so yeah, so how many people do you have kind of on your? I mean, I'm sure you have quite a few people, but how did you figure out who you needed to help support you in this effort?
Well, that's the great thing, man. And I learned this in college.
Okay.
Is about being around people that playing your position, knowing your role and playing your position. So there are tons of things that I'm not good at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I just don't. That's just not me. I don't play. I'm not a planner,
Yep.
but I'm an action person.
Sure.
So as soon as I think it, I might say it, and then I'm going to do it. It may not have no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but I'm going to do it. However, in other instances, you need people who can plan.
Yep.
And then what I would do in the book club, as soon as somebody suggested something, I'd be like, yo, you're great at that. Why don't you take the lead on that? Or if it was like, I don't know how to build knowledge boxes.
Yep.
But I know somebody that does.
Sure.
Hey, can you put together this box for me?
Yeah.
Hey, I got you. Boom. So now I got boxes. Or I'll call my cousin. But the main people who do the work are just people that's who they are.
Yeah.
And I get the grasp that as long as you're putting out really good energy,
Yep.
like good energy come right back to you.
Absolutely.
Like I didn't pay for neither one of the knowledge boxes that went up in LA or in the Bay.
Yeah.
And it was just like, people like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, like, how can I help? And I'm the first person to be like, oh, you want to help? I definitely got something for you to do. I ain't one of those people that be like, oh, no, don't worry about it, man. I got it. I'm going to do it. I'll be like, no, you know what? You know what you're really good at?
Yeah.
You're really good at painting. You know what? Do you mind painting on this box for me? Can you put Angela Davis or Pac on this box for me? Can you put the Black Panther symbol on this box?
Yep.
Can you put Nipsey Hussle in this box for me? And just by asking, they'll do it. So my whole thing is that I don't care about no promotion. Like, you won't see me saying, hey, buy We Need More Thinker shirt. You won't see me like, yo, I put up this knowledge box, or, you know, I'm doing this, doing that. I'm going to just do it. Yeah. And then I'm going to just keep doing it. I'm going to just keep doing the work. And what I notice is that when people see you doing the work, they help you out. Yeah. It's just great energy. So that's it, man. I try to do the work. And one of the most important things, and this is what I tell my daughters, like, one of the most important things is how you treat people and how you make them feel. Yeah. Like, that's more important than being smart. Yep. Like you can get smart. You can read books, you can take tutorials, you can learn and get smart. But how you treat people and how you make them feel, yeah, it's gonna be is more powerful. Yep. It's gonna be more powerful. And my daughters will be like, oh, you have so many friends, because no matter where I go, it's somebody from Norfolk State. Sure. Like, Anthony, what up? It's like, yo, I'm in LA. All right, I'm gonna pull up, like, wherever you go. Or if I'm in Denver, or I'm in the Bay, it's like, it's Norfolk State people everywhere. It's cats everywhere. It's family everywhere. But the thing is that everybody doesn't have that connection because they don't cherish those relationships. Yeah. So you know, if you're a person that's standoffish, or you don't like people talk to you, or when people call you, you be like, oh, I gotta go. Or somebody call you, don't call them back. Like that's an energy, and people sense it. Mm-hmm. So my whole thing is like give out great energy all the time. Give these amounts of love. Like, give it out. Just give it out, like, to anybody. And then, like, life is so much better because it just keeps coming back at you. It's like, like, you can never give more than you get back. Yeah. So even when I'm broke, I'll be like, I only got $2. I'll just give my last $2 away, because I know I'll be all right, but this person might not be. Yeah. And then, like, the thing that happens, man, is that the love always comes back. Like, it always comes back. I think I read a quote one time, is that the happiest people are the people who give the most. So I don't know where it's from, but I definitely read that. And like, if you think about it, think about the most generous people you know, and it's like, yeah, and it probably be people who don't even have a lot,
Oh
but they just be like, nah, it's no problem. Here, take that, or here, take that.
yeah,
It's a special thing, man. It's a real special thing.
yeah, man. That really speaks to kind of what fills our cup, and it's not, as much as we might, we all like things, right? We all like nice
Yeah,
stuff. Um, but those things are nowhere near in comparison to like the relationships and the feelings you get from those relationships. When you just like you sitting and having a drink, having some coffee, whatever, and you're just hanging out with people, and you feel that love, you feel that energy. You're like, man, I don't need anything else. You're not thinking when you get in those situations. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but like when I get in those situations, it's almost like I don't need. Yeah, I'm reminded like I don't need shit. Like I don't need a whole bunch of shit.
right,
I
right.
just
Exactly.
really value how much. Yeah, I really value the relationship and the moment, the experience, right? And the more you can reflect on that experience, you recognize that they're very limited, right? We're here for a limited amount of time, and and not to say that like uh, not to say that if you're not with the specific person that you want to be with, or at a specific time, that it's a waste. Um, but yeah, just value that time of like really value those people. I try to remind myself all the time, but it just goes back to what you were talking about. When you put that out there, you're going to naturally be pulled towards the people that are feeling similar.
Yeah,
You're like, yep, these are the people who I want to be around. I really like them. Like we can rock anytime you want to. We don't have to do shit. We really
yeah,
don't. But if you want, you can help me paint this paint this
yeah.
box.
And to piggyback off of what you're saying is that we read this book called All About Love by Bell Hooks. It's
Okay.
like it's a phenomenal book, and it's not about the in the terms of love as most people think, like all about love. Like we want to talk about all about getting in a relationship or all about loving somebody. It's about all forms of love.
Sure.
But we was having a discussion, and usually I'm outnumbered men to women because black women tend to read more than black males.
Yeah.
So
Or specifically book clubs too. Like
yeah,
that's definitely, yeah.
yeah.
You're
So
changing it though. You're changing it.
yeah. So it was I had this vision is that in this love game that we have, how often are we at that high, that in love high, like
Hmm.
that part where everything is great and perfect, and then how long does it last? Does it last 2 3 years? Does it last 10 years? And if you go around the room and you ask people about that feeling, they don't say that it lasts long.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing is that what we learned is that expectations, once we get to that high feeling, is that expectations of what should be next,
Sure.
like, well, this should be next, and this should be next, and
Mm,
this should be next. And when we don't hit those next moments, then those expectations bring down that high level that we were on.
sure.
And it's like crazy because we don't get those moments often.
Mm-mm.
You're not gonna get this moment often. So why don't we cherish those moments?
I'm always searching for those.
So
Man. I mean, you know it. Like when you
yeah,
get them, you're like, oh shit,
oh,
damn. It's like a high.
you gotta cherish those moments, but and that's just like one of the powerful things that come from just having a conversation with 10, 15, 20 people
Yeah.
about how they feel about a certain subject.
Yeah.
It's dope, man. It's dope.
Um, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I do want to know kind of what's your yeah, what's the next step? What are you envisioning? It doesn't have to be etched in stone or on paper or an actual plan, but yeah, what are your thoughts about where you want to take this?
Well, next step is it's time to get this grant money. So
Okay, there we go.
go get this grant money, and you know, I think the next thing is we're doing the knowledge boxes. So I want to do a knowledge box in every city that we have a book club. So we have Denver, LA, the Bay, DC. They all should have boxes by the end of the month.
Okay.
However, Charlotte, Atlanta, Raleigh, Durham, New York, Chicago, Detroit, Pittsburgh, we want boxes up by the end of the year.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to start a subscription service where we send children's books to people who can't make it to the knowledge box.
Okay.
You know, so
Yep.
so you can get a book to you every single month of something that you can relate to. Because like I did a podcast with my daughters, and they asked my oldest a question, and they was like, you know, why are you so enthusiastic about reading?
Yeah.
And her answer was, she's like, I think everybody would be enthusiastic about reading. They just haven't found their book yet.
Solid.
And I was like, hey.
Yep.
Hey.
Yep.
So I'm like, so that's what it is. If a little kid, he's a LeBron James fan,
yeah,
give him the LeBron James book.
Yeah.
Like if your daughter likes Serena Williams, get her a Serena Williams book.
Yeah.
If your daughter like magical unicorns,
buy the fucking magical unicorn book.
Buy the magical unicorns book. Don't give her books that don't relate.
Yeah.
So once they get to read and have it, then you can branch out. But if they like unicorns or they like animals, feed them the animal books.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. So, but the key is to get them reading.
Yeah.
Get them reading. So my thing is that I'm going to send you a book of your reflection. So if you're 5, let me send you LeBron's book.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron has a great children's book. I Promise.
Okay.
Check it out. It's like, it rhymes. It's for kids. And one thing about children's books is that they're dope for adults too. So if you read it to your kid, like, well, everybody's taking something back from it.
Sure.
And so LeBron has an amazing book, and then you can find a Basquiat book that Maya Angelou wrote a poem about Basquiat, where they took his pictures and used her poem, and you can read it like that. Like, so the books are there. And one thing that's going on right now is a strong movement for Black children's books.
Oh, yeah.
They are everywhere now. And like, they tell so many different stories that we weren't exposed to before.
Sure.
So if your kid doesn't like going to the barbershop, they got barbershop books. They have everything now for our children. Black ballerina books. It's crazy. So what I want to do is to get those into the hands of kids who may not get that exposure anywhere else if they can't get to one of our knowledge boxes. So we're going to do that. Of course, we're building the book clubs, but ultimately we want unity. We want groupthink. We want the smartest people together in the room, and we want to share with others. So not only did we had the groupthink, not only did we go to Harlem and do field trips like that and movie nights with strong movies that are coming out, we had gun training.
Damn, okay.
Back. So you get the gun training, and now you go get your license and have a concealed carry weapon. Plus, it's vital information to have. So like Jenny, who runs our Denver book club, she came up with this, and it was like, it's so much more than a book club.
Oh, totally.
So much more than a book club.
Totally.
And in Denver, it's kind of like after book club meetings, we kind of turn up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's on. Like after that, it's on. After the book club, so and picture this though. Picture this. Some of the dope people that we have, like in the Denver Book Club, we have an American Book Award winner.
Oh, nice.
In it. And like, she just won this year, but it's dope. Like, and these are the people that are gravitating to the book clubs. And these are the best, the brightest of the bunch.
Yeah.
and we did the Colorado ski trip as well. We do it annually. So it's more than a book club. And of course we got the nonprofits to give back and to make being smart cool.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. Because if you think about anything as a child, whatever you thought was cool, that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you if you saw nice cars, I want a nice car. If somebody was going around and they had like a pretty wife and he had a big house, or the basketball player, or
No.
any of that, you know what's better than being LeBron James if you're into making money?
What?
Being Dan Snyder.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like if he gave LeBron James 100 million,
Then how
how
much?
much did Dan Snyder make?
Right.
Billions.
No.
So like it's cool. It's cool to play ball, but everybody can't play ball if you 5'10".
Right.
You know,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you can be Dan Snyder.
Sure. Or you can be, the friend of a basketball player and tell them like, hey, I think we should build these schools. What's up?
Hey,
Hey, you know what I mean? Like, hey, what do you
hey,
think about these ideas?
right.
That's so yeah, it's not always about being the center of attention, right? And or being the prolific, the icon. There are plenty of other things that you can do. Uh, yeah, man, and I really appreciate that I really appreciate that you're creating this subscription service, because you recognize that everyone doesn't have a box, right?
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't have access, and access is a huge thing right now, right?
Right.
Um, that
Libraries are closed.
yeah,
It's hard to get to.
hard to yeah,
You got to schedule an appointment. And as soon as you tell somebody like, "Oh, I got to schedule an appointment. I got to pick out a book. You're gonna go look for it, all that." Like even I don't even go to the library anymore, because like you want me to go online, you want me to pick out a book. Oh, somebody else has it on hold. Somebody's gonna check it out. Like it's a lot. It's too many steps than
yeah,
me going into the library, looking around, grabbing 16 books, putting them on my card, and going home, or just sitting in there flipping through the pages like I did when I was a kid, seeing what triggers what I want to read.
yep,
So like, and I'm sure homeschool is messing our children up as well,
sure,
because if you can't focus in school when you're in class, how you gonna focus at home when you can turn the camera off and do whatever you want to do?
yeah.
So we
Adults are dealing with that shit.
we gotta do something to keep the kids engaged.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah. Well, man, I'm excited for you, and for damn sure, you know, I heard you rattle off a couple of cities, and my brain already started going towards who I knew in those cities, and
yeah,
how I can help, and sure enough, most of the people that ran through my head are also went to Norfolk State, right? Those are the first people that came to mind. Like, oh yeah, I know somebody in Pittsburgh. Oh yeah, I know somebody. Yep. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But in any way I can, I'm going to try to help you. And we'll keep these conversations going, because I think you're doing the reason why I had you on is because I think this is just phenomenal, man. Like, I, I'm,
appreciate it. I
I'm
appreciate
really, I'm really happy to see more, more people who look like me, um, who don't often get the recognition. Who, this isn't what we see in the headlines, right? This isn't the cool thing, right? And it is becoming cool though. Like that's what I'm hopeful about. I'm seeing so much more conversation around um intellect and just uh, learning, right? I don't remember, but not that I should remember as a kid, but yeah, this is a really cool time, even though it is rough. Like, we are at a unique point in the country, and there is a lot of racial tension and political divide, and we are in the middle of a fucking pandemic. But sometimes fucking some of the best shit comes out of chaos. You know
it.
what I mean? Sometimes the best stuff comes out when things just seem, I hate to use it, but just fucked.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like, damn, this shit seems fucked.
It's the straw that breaks the camel's back. People get
Yeah.
to work, man. People get to work.
So yeah, before we end, I'm gonna ask you this closing question. I ask all the guests on the podcast to reflect and think about something that you're in love with or something that you love. It doesn't need to be a person. It doesn't need to be a thing. Whatever you want. So yeah, what's something or someone that you're in love with, or that you love?
Well, this is an easy one. I love books. Like
Yep.
it's a different type of love than like when I was a kid and I was reading because I'm bored. So I've read 100 books last year. Like it was my personal goal. I wanted to read 100 books, and I failed last year. I read like 80.
Yeah.
But I hit it. I hit it at the end of the. I hit it. I hit exactly 100. I read Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. And the crazy thing is that I was behind again, coming around like September, October. And the thing is, it was like, I need to start reading like fiction books.
Yeah. Yep.
Fiction books are easier to read. So I went back to Donald Goines. Like Donald Goines is that dude. Like, and you can pick up his book and he'll lock you in and you'll be done in a day or two.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing what happened is that I was reading his books. Like I read like 4 of them because if you didn't notice, Donald Goines has a series of books, the Kenyatta series, that is based off the Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an organization very similar to the Black Panthers that he wrote about. I did not know that. I love the Black Panthers. So I dove into the books. So what happened is that I'm reading like a book a day, a book every 2 days. So by the time I get to 100, I get caught up. I finish the book. The way that I've been reading has conditioned me to read fast and with endurance and with comprehension. So when I don't finish a book in like 1 or 2 days, I feel funny.
Yeah.
Like,
interesting.
So I'm reading 1984 right now, and it's been like 3 days, and I'm like only halfway through. I'm like, yeah, like what's going on?
Yeah.
But I'm in love with the books because what it does to your brain is marvelous. Like it's the little things. Like when you think about picking up a book and you read, when you are reading, you are putting together words as a meaning.
Yep.
So when you're reading, those words come together, an image pops in your head.
Sure.
So automatically you are thinking. Every time that you read a line, it's like pum, pum, imagination, putting this picture in your brain.
Yeah.
Imagine, so when you're reading, and then you're also subconsciously taking in all the words. So even words like when you read over a word, but you don't really know the meaning, but because it's in the sentence, you can kind of figure it out.
Sure.
You're picking up, you're getting, your vocabulary is getting better. Your diction is getting better because we read in the book's diction. Yeah. We don't read the Southeast DC slang. We don't read the Bay Area slang. We read the diction that's in the book. So the grammar is correct. The articulation is correct. So we're building. All these things are building. And the thing is that when you're reading these books, it's impossible not to get smarter. And at the same time, subconsciously, you're soaking in all the facts.
No. So
like these are all facts. So then one day you'll be somewhere and somebody will bring something up and you'll be like, yo, I read it somewhere. Sure. You might not know the specific thing, but you know that it's here because you have all these different perspectives. So not only you got all these different perspectives, such and such was in this book, he was in Atlanta. Such and such was in this book, he was on this street. Like I read Monster after going to LA a whole bunch of times. I'm like, yo, I know that street. I'm on that street. Yep. He's talking about the gangs. I know that's Nipsey's gang and all that. So like it puts you there. So like I live in this very moment. So and watching it spread. So people will be like, no, there's no way you can read 100 books. Like I read 100 books already, and I'm going to read more books next year. No. It's just that because it's an endurance. If you can run 3 miles and you keep practicing, you can run 6. Then you can run 12. Then you can run a marathon. Sure. So I'm in love with books. Like books is my thing. I'm gonna write a poem about it. Like books is my thing, and all the benefits that trickle down for it. And then when your friends see you doing it, they like, yo, what's so hype about books? And I've had this happen numerous times. Like people from the book clubs would be like, I don't know, my book goal is 12. And then, next you look up at it and they had like 18.
Yeah.
And then the following year they doing 30. And then my man is like, oh, I did 56. So it's like, oh man, that's wild. And then to see other people start book clubs is so dope.
Oh
like,
yeah.
like if we get everybody reading, man, it's like it's max potential. We can go to the sky, man. It's like no limits on yourself. So like I'm in love with books, so appreciate you asking that question because I have strong enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, man.
I got like vintage books, man, and like I be posting my books, like yo, look at this vintage Baldwin I found in the bookstore, like $8, and they don't even know it's worth $400. Like it's just amazing, man. So shout out to books, man, and the power that they hold. Actually, before I get off here, I've been wrestling with this right now recently. Is that like a great teacher is the book. So if Malcolm X, if they take Malcolm X's speeches, which they have like the last 4 speeches, and they put them in a book, you are sitting there reading Malcolm's word. He's teaching you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you are reading a Nikki Giovanni book, her poems from 1963 or 1967 or 68, when that movement was going on, you are back there in that experience. You are there. If you are reading a book on the Black Panthers and all you've been presented your entire life was that they held guns and that's it, then you don't know about all the social programs that they had, and you don't know the attack that was on them. But when you read the books gonna teach you.
Sure.
So I got a whole bunch of teachers around me, and anytime I need to go to them, even though they're not here, Malcolm X isn't here, and Martin Luther King isn't here, and all these greats aren't here, but their words are here.
Sure.
The feeling that they had on people is here. Mm-hmm. So these are my teachers. Nah, I wasn't around when Malcolm X was around, but trust that I know his words and I know his teachings and I can feel his presence.
Absolutely.
So it's a beautiful thing. So we definitely need to cherish our riots that are here, such as Cornell West and
sure.
And all of them. So if you get around them and you can take some knowledge from them, I tell you right now, I steal knowledge from everybody.
Oh, of course. That's why I do this. That's exactly why I do this, because I love this is a great tool for me to learn, and when I get to talk to people in length, it makes me it's highly therapeutic. It's what I not to be cliche, but it's what I live for, man. I love sitting down and talking to people and just listening to their story, and that's where I get the learning from, similar to what you said, man. So man, I appreciate you being on, and like I said before, we'll talk again because I want to figure out how to help. And man, take care of yourself. I know you said you're headed out to Denver tomorrow.
Actually, I'm going to Sacramento, but I got a long layover in Denver. I get into Denver at like 9. And my flight's at 6. So I'm going to Lawrence and Larimer, where they print out shirts.
Okay.
New stuff coming out there. I'm gonna kick it with my peoples there. It's a black space. If anybody's in Denver, make sure you go to Lawrence and Larimer on Colfax. That's where all the black people show up, hang out, and have a great time. It's a retail store, so go check them out. But yeah, I'm gonna go pull up. We're gonna work on some shirts, some new shirt designs, and chop it up. And then I'm gonna mail off some shirts, and then I'm gonna hop on a plane.
Cool, man. Well, be as safe as you can. Take care of yourself. And we'll talk soon.
Appreciate it, brother.
Cool, man. Have a good one.